Most people completely misunderstand what it really takes to start a business in a smaller African country like Eswatini, and that misunderstanding quietly stops them from exploring opportunities that could completely change their financial future. Because from the outside it looks uncertain. A small market. Limited global attention. A system that feels unfamiliar. But here's the surprising truth that almost nobody talks about. Countries like Eswatini often offer something that highly competitive economies don't. Access, simplicity in certain areas, and the ability to build something meaningful without being drowned out by thousands of competitors. And this is exactly where Jessica's story begins. Jessica is a small business owner from Chicago. She runs an online wellness brand and has been looking for ways to expand into new markets. At first, she focuses on the usual places: Europe, Southeast Asia, maybe even Latin America. But then, something unexpected happens. She comes across a trade report mentioning Southern Africa, and one name keeps appearing: Eswatini. At first, she's unsure. She doesn't know the legal system. She's unfamiliar with the regulations, and she's never even considered setting up a company there. But something about the opportunity keeps pulling her in. And that's where things get interesting. Because once she starts researching, she realizes that Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland, is strategically located in southern Africa, with access to regional markets like South Africa and Mozambique. And what happens next changes everything. She asks the question most people never get past. What does it actually take to register a company there? And this is where most people hit a wall. Because registering an LLC in Eswatini isn't just about paperwork. It's about understanding a system that blends modern corporate law with traditional administrative processes. And if you don't understand that system, things can go very wrong. Let's start with the basics. In Eswatini, the equivalent of an LLC is typically referred to as a private limited company. This structure provides limited liability, meaning your personal assets are protected from business risks. That's a major advantage. But there's one detail most people miss. The process of registering a company in Eswatini involves several steps that must be completed in the correct order, and skipping or misunderstanding even one of them can cause delays. Jessica didn't realize this at first. She assumed it would be similar to registering a company in the United States: fast, digital, and straightforward. But this is where reality stepped in. And this is where things can get complicated. Let's bring in Michael. Michael is a consultant who has helped businesses expand into African markets. When Jessica reaches out to him, he gives her one piece of advice that changes everything. Don't rush the process. Understand it first. That advice becomes her turning point. Because instead of trying to move quickly, she starts focusing on doing things correctly. And that's where progress begins. Now let's walk through the process step by step, in a way that feels natural and easy to follow. Imagine you're in Jessica's position. You've decided to move forward. What's the first step? It starts with reserving a company name. Simple, right? But here's where things get interesting. Your chosen name must be unique and approved by the registrar of companies in Eswatini. If it's already taken or too similar to an existing name, it will be rejected. Jessica submits her first choice. Rejected. Then, her second. Also rejected. Each rejection delays her timeline. But there's a smarter way to handle this. You prepare multiple name options in advance and check availability before submitting. This small detail can save you days or even weeks. And this is the pattern you need to recognize. Small steps. Big consequences. Now, once the name is approved, the next step is preparing your company documents. This includes the memorandum and articles of association. These documents define how your business operates: ownership, management, and internal rules. But here's the problem. These documents must meet specific legal standards in Eswatini. You can't just copy a template from another country. David tried that. He used a generic template he found online. It seemed fine at first, but it didn't meet local requirements. The result? Delays, corrections, and frustration. But once he worked with a local legal advisor, everything changed. His documents were properly structured, and the process moved forward smoothly. And this is where things get interesting again. Local expertise can save you time, money, and stress. Now let's move forward. After preparing your documents, you need to register your company with the Registrar of Companies. This involves submitting your documents, paying registration fees, and waiting for approval. And here's the good news. Eswatini has made efforts to simplify the registration process in recent years. But this is where things can still go wrong. Incomplete applications, missing signatures, or incorrect details can lead to rejection. Daniel experienced this firsthand. He rushed through his application, thinking speed was the priority. It wasn't. His application was rejected, and he had to start over. But once he slowed down and focused on accuracy, he succeeded. And that success changed everything. Because once your company is registered, it becomes a legal entity. You can operate, sign contracts, and open business accounts. But there's one detail most people miss. Registration is not the end of the journey. It's just the beginning. Now let's talk about what happens next. After registration, you need to handle tax registration. This includes obtaining a tax identification number and understanding your obligations. And this is where things can get very dangerous. If you fail to comply with tax regulations, penalties can accumulate quickly. Emily learned this the hard way. She assumed her small business wouldn't require strict compliance. She was wrong. Missed filings led to fines. But once she partnered with a local accountant, everything stabilized. And that stability allowed her to focus on growth. Now let's zoom out for a moment. At this point, you've reserved a name, prepared documents, registered your company, and handled tax registration. It sounds like a lot. But here's the insight most people never realize. The process itself is not the hardest part. The mindset is. If you approach this with impatience, you'll face frustration. If you approach it with strategy, you'll find opportunity. And this is where the identity shift happens. You're no longer someone guessing your way through international business. You're someone who understands how to navigate new systems. And that changes everything. But we're not done yet. There's one more critical piece: ongoing compliance. In Eswatini, companies must maintain proper records, file annual returns, and operate within legal frameworks. This is not optional. And this is where many entrepreneurs lose momentum. But here's the smarter approach. You build a support system, a local accountant, a legal advisor, reliable contacts. Jessica eventually did this. At first, she tried to manage everything on her own. It didn't work. But once she built a local network, everything became easier. Decisions became clearer. Processes became faster. And her confidence grew. And that confidence led to growth. Because while others hesitated to enter the market, she was already established. She had relationships. She had systems. She had experience. Now let's bring everything together. Registering an LLC in Eswatini is not just about paperwork. It's about understanding a system. A system that rewards patience, preparation, and attention to detail. If you rush, you risk mistakes. If you prepare, you create opportunity. And that's the difference between those who struggle and those who succeed. Because at the end of the day, it's not about choosing the biggest market. It's about choosing the right one and understanding it deeply. Eswatini may not be the first place most entrepreneurs think of, but for those who take the time to learn the process, it offers something powerful. Less competition, strategic regional access, and the chance to build something meaningful from the ground up. So, if you're considering starting your own LLC in Eswatini, remember this. Take your time. Learn the system. Build the right connections. Because once you do, you're not just starting a company. You're entering a market that very few people truly understand. And that's where real opportunities exist. If you found this guide helpful, and want more videos that break down complex global opportunities like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the more you understand, the more confident and capable you become. And that's how smart entrepreneurs move forward.